The day my grandfather died, we buried his watch with him. Like every family story, we told ourselves it was the end. But 40 years later, I found it in the pocket of a man who had no idea how it got there. No name, no explanation. Just my grandfather's gold Rolex ticking like he never left. It all started with a funeral. Grandpa was 82, a quiet man who loved gardening and telling war stories. He'd married my grandmother in 52, had 3 kids, and raised us all in a house with ivy climbing the walls and a garden that looked like a painting. When the cancer took him, we gathered at the cemetery. My sisters cried. I clutched his will, written in his looping handwriting, and read his final wishes. Burn this with me. Bury this watch with me. It's the only thing I want to take with me. No one asked why. It was just Grandpa's way. The watch was his pride and joy. He'd worn it every day since 1978, even to bed. Said it, kept order in a world that never did. When I handed it to the undertaker, I expected it to be the last time it'd ever be worn. But 40 years later, I was washing my car in my driveway when a man knocked on my door. He looked like he'd stepped out of a time machine. 50s-style hair, mustache, and a grin that didn't reach his eyes. I found this while cleaning out my late grandfather's things, he said. Thought it was yours. I took the box. My hands shook. It was there. My grandfather's watch. Same gold clasp. Same initials etched on the back. Same faint crack on the side from when I'd dropped it at age 10. I stared at the man. No, I said. It can't be yours. My grandfather's been dead 40 years. He blinked. Yours? Yours? He turned and walked away. That night I opened the box. The watch was still ticking. Before we continue, we would like to thank all of you who support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing our content. The only appreciation we ask of you is that you subscribe, like, and share this video if you are not yet one of our subscribers. Thank you. I spent the next week haunted. I called my sisters, my mom. No one had heard anything about the watch. I checked my grandfather's will again. Burn this with me, bury this watch with me. The words made no sense now. Then I found the name, scrawled in a journal buried in the attic. My grandfather's handwriting. To Daniel. If you read this, it means I'm gone. Keep the watch. Don't trust the family. Tell your son. Tell him the truth about the night of the fire. Daniel, my grandfather's brother. Dead since 1973. I never met him. But the journal said he'd stolen the watch. In 1973, the year I was born, there was a fire in the family barn. Everyone claimed it was a lightning strike. Grandpa's watch melted from the heat. But no one found it. I dug deeper. In the journal, my grandfather wrote about a man, Danny, who owed him money. A man who tried to burn the house down to hide a debt. The fire was real. But the watch wasn't. Grandpa had hidden it. He'd buried it alive. And now, 40 years later, it had surfaced. I couldn't breathe. Why now? Why a stranger? That night, I dreamed of my grandfather. He stood in the garden, watch in hand. You never let go, did you? He said. Even after you're gone. I woke up crying. The next week, I drove to the man's house to return the watch. He was gone. I asked neighbors. No one knew his name, just that he used to visit a nursing home every Tuesday, and that his wife died last year, alone. The nursing home had no records of him, just a photo, of a man who looked exactly like the stranger from my driveway, and who looked like my grandfather's brother. I stared at the photo, the watch, the fire, the theft, the lie. My head pounded. Grandpa had never trusted the family. He'd trusted a stranger. And now that stranger was gone. The watch was the only thing left, but it wasn't done talking to me. I bought a lockbox. I put the watch inside, but I couldn't ignore the feeling that the watch was waiting. For what? I wasn't sure. Then, 2 months later, the box broke open in my pocket. The watch rolled across the floor. Battery died. I tried to wind it. It spun like a broken heart. I called my oldest sister. She asked why I was crying. This watch. It's never been broken, I said. She didn't understand. But she came over. We stared at it. Then the screen door slammed. It was the man again, older. His face creased like paper. He held a letter, my grandfather's handwriting. To whomever finds this, the watch is more than a watch. It's a key, a reminder. The barn fire wasn't an accident, it was a warning. Danny knew. He stole it the night before. If my family finds this, destroy it. But if you're reading this, it means they didn't. Take the watch. It's the last thing I have left. I looked at the man. He said nothing, just handed me a faded photo. My grandfather, my father, and Danny. Young, smiling, all in 1962. The man turned and walked away. Again. I didn't follow. Instead, I opened the watch. Inside, a tiny engraving no one had seen before. To Danny, 1973. No name, no date, just 2 lines of words. I didn't have to read it again. It had already told me everything. My grandfather had given the watch to his brother before the fire, and he'd taken it back the day he died, because the fire wasn't an accident, it was a cover-up, a way to erase Danny's debt, and my grandfather's silence. Now the watch was mine, and I had nowhere to go. Before we continue, we would like to thank all of you who support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing our content. The only appreciation we ask of you is that you subscribe, like, and share this video if you are not yet one of our subscribers. Thank you. The next day, I sold the house, left the town. I didn't return for my family's funeral. They didn't notice. They were too busy pretending they knew who they were. But I know now, my grandfather lied, and he buried it with him. But the watch outlived it, and it outlived him. Because some secrets don't stay buried. They find you, whether you're ready or not. Now I wear the watch, it clicks on my wrist, a tiny echo of the man who wore it first, of the brother who stole it, of the fire that no one can explain. And I wonder what else is waiting, in the soil, in the ashes, in the silence he left behind. But I'll never look back, because the truth is heavy, and the watch is lighter, and I carry it, for him, for me, for the family that forgot.